जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare संकीर्तन की जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। 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 We'll recite together. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च Nandagopakumaraaya Govindaya Namo Namah. Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 7. So today we have 3 verses to cover. 1.7.56, 57 and 58. विमुच्य रसनाबद्धम् विमुच्य रसनाबद्धम् बालहत्या हतप्रभम् बालहत्या हतप्रभम् तेजसा मणिनाहीनम् तेजसा मणिनाहीनम् शिविरान्न निरयापयत् शिविरान् निरयापयत् विमुच्य रसनाबद्धम् बालहत्या हतप्रभम् तेजसा मणिनाहीनम् शिविरान् निरयापयत् विमुच्य रसनाबद्धम् बालहत्या हतप्रभम् तेजसा मणिनाहीनम् शिविरान्न निरयापयत्. Yes, some devotees. विमुच्य रसनाबद्धम्
बालहत्या हताप्रभम्
बालहत्या हतप्रभम्
तेजसा मणिनाहीनम्
तेजसा मणिनाहीनम्
शिविरन् निरयापरत्
शिविरान् निरयापयत् विमुच्य रसनाबद्धम्
बालहत्या हतप्रभम्
बालहत्या हतप्रभम्
तेजसा मणिनाहीनम्
तेजसा मणिनाहीनम्
शिबिरा निरयापरात्
शिविरान् निरयापयत्. Any devotees online? Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
विमुच्य रशनाबद्धम्
विमुच्य रसनाबद्धम्
बालहत्या हतप्रभम्
बालहत्या हतप्रभम्
तेजसा मणिनाहीनम्
तेजसा मणिनाहीनम्
शिबिरान् निरयापयत्.
शिबिरान् निरयापयत्. Thank you, devotees. Now, word to word meaning. Vimuchya, after releasing him. Rashanabadham, from the bondage of ropes. Balahatya, infanticide. Hataprabham, loss of bodily luster. Tejasa, of the strength of. Manina, by the jewel. Heenam, being deprived of. Shivirat, from the camp. Narayapayat, drove him out. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. He, Aswathama, had already lost his bodily luster due to infanticide, and now, moreover, having lost the jewel from his head, he lost even more strength. Thus, he was unbound and driven out of the camp. Purport. Thus, being insulted, the humiliated Aswathama was simultaneously killed and not killed by the intelligence of Lord Krishna and Arjuna. So now we have 2 more verses. So one time I'll recite and one time one devotee can or otherwise I'll recite and you follow. Then we'll have discussion on this. Vapanam Dravinadanam.
Vapanam Dravinadanam.
1.7.57. Next verse we are reciting. Vapanam Dravinadanam.
Vapanam Dravinadanam.
Sthanan Niryapanam Tatha.
Sthanam
Esa hi Brahma Bandhunam.
Esha hi Brahma Bandhunam.
Badho Nanyosti Dehikaha. Next 1.7.58. But before I'll recite translation. Cutting the hair from his head, depriving him of his wealth and driving him from his residence are the prescribed punishments for the relative of a Brahmana. There is no injunction for killing the body. And then comes next 1.7.58. Putra shokatura sarve
Putra Shoka
Pandava saha Krishnaya
Pandava Saha Krishnaya
Swanamritanam yat krityam
Swanam Yatanam Yatkritam
Chakrur nirharanadikam.
Chakrur Nirharnadikam.
Chakrur nirharana adikam. Okay. So, translation. Thereafter, the sons of Pandu and Draupadi, overwhelmed with grief, performed the proper rituals for the dead bodies of their relatives. Purport. The saints, the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first canto, 7th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Son of Drona Punished. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshununmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayati gram yat kripatamaham bande Shri Gurum Dinatarnam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So today I need lot of mercy from all of you, because these three verses are the conclusion or end of the episode what we have been going through, but unfortunately there is not much mentioned by Prabhupada. So I'm limited in my understanding and in this subject matter. But when I was looking to hear something, so fortunately I got something to hear from His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj on the same verses. So whatever I have heard and certain things which I read and tried to churn upon, I would like to share. So before I start, please give your blessings. Many senior Vaishnavas are here and I'm speaking in front of them. It's like, insignificant person doing something. But this is for service, for my own purification and to learn something out of it, because when we speak, we are forced to meditate also what we are speaking or what we are preparing. So I consider this as a service where I'll be able to learn certain things for my own life to progress. So please bless me. And also I would like to request all the devotees to please accept whatever good is there as mercy of my seniors, as Madan Sundar Prabhuji and all the acharyas, and whatever mistakes or if something is not proper, that is because of my human side. So please forgive that. So starting with this, first let's have some recap. So the episode started few months back and now we have the conclusion. Picture is very clear. Why? Because we can see that justice has been done. So my first question to all of you, just to have some churning, what do you think, whether this justice is right or not? You all know what has been done, right? The chapter itself narrates that son of Drona punished, right? So, do you think the punishment which has been given to him is correct? We just read, yes. Okay. Anyone thinks that there is injustice? It's not proper. Anyone here, if they have any doubt, So, to understand this subject matter more, right, we'll have especially the verse 1.7.57, where three conditions are given there, right? What are those three conditions in which even a Brahmana, what to speak of Brahma Bandhu, even a Brahmana can be also killed. And we'll see certain situations. So in 1.7.57, cutting the hair from his head, depriving him of his wealth, and driving him from his residence are the prescribed punishments for the relative of a Brahmana. There is no injunction for killing the body. So, when I was pondering upon on this subject matter, then I was thinking how drastic or ironic it is that same Draupadi, where Duryodhan had tried to disrobe her in front of all the kings and all the members of that sabha. So generally we hear the principle that when Vaishnava is rebuked personally or disrespected, he doesn't take it seriously. But when something is done to other Vaishnavas, then he or she takes it very carefully. Or in the contrast, here it is totally different. When she was rebuked personally, she was kind of disrespected in that assembly. She took it so personally. She took the oath that I'll not be satisfied until I take bath. What kind of bath? From the blood of the same person, Dusasan, who tried to disrobe me. And now same Draupadi, where her 5 sons are butchered. She is saying, I'm ready to forgive. It is her only who is started, right? She told, I am ready to forgive. Please do not punish him. Do not kill him especially. Isn't it contrast? How many of you think? It is? So, do you think this behavior of Draupadi is correct? What do you think? How many of you justify that this kind of behavior of Draupadi is proper? Nobody is raising hand. It has been done, accepted. Krishna accepted. Arjuna has already done, right? So, yes, anyone online who thinks this is totally correct, this kind of behavior of Draupadi is totally correct? Okay, who thinks this kind of behavior of Draupadi is not correct? Okay, other side, some hands at least we should have. Okay, Apur Govind Prabhu is saying it is not correct. Yes, Vishwajit Prabhu is saying not correct. Anyone else? Okay, so yes, Prabhuji.
मैं भी इसको सही नहीं मानता हूँ इस सेंस के अंदर कि जो उसका आफ्टर इफेक्ट्स हुआ था ना,
Yes,
आफ्टर इफेक्ट्स का मतलब कि जो द्रौपदी के 5 बच्चों का भी अल्टीमेट हुआ था ना, जो उसने किया बाद में,
yes,
जो
yes.
उसको किया गया
बाद में फिर उत्तरा के गर्भ में जो है फिर से उसने
उत्तराखंड, तो वो
ब्रह्मास्त्र चलाया.
नहीं होता शायद अगर उसी टाइम उसको मार दिया जाता.
Yes. So here is expert opinion
नहीं
that this is not considered right because this caused another havoc or trouble in the life of Pandavas because same person Aswathama being humiliated, this word is also used here in this connection. Being humiliated, he was punished, right? So being humiliated, he was asked to leave and he left that part. So, in that context, if we see, then it is totally justified that yes, it should not be done. What? He should not have been left. Okay? But thing was about punishment. So the moral says that if somebody tries to kill, 6 kind of offenders are mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. So he had done almost two things, right? First, he killed the innocent, like children should not be killed. So in front of him, they were children, they were sleeping. And if somebody tries to kill, like Arjuna was, he was shot Brahmastra. To what? To kill Arjuna actually, out of fear. So both things he had done. Personally tried to kill and also offended, children, kind of. And sleeping, even considered soldiers, then it was not right. So in that connection, it is told right. But another injunction in the Shastra given, which Draupadi is quoting, that Brahmana should not be killed. Right? So both things are correct. This is what is Krishna consciousness. Bhed Avid.
तो इसी वजह से जो ब्राह्मणों को जो है ना, जो बाद में कर्म दिया गया कि ब्राह्मणों की सारी पावर्स जो है ना वो कम हो गई.
Yes, yes.
कलयुग के अंदर जो है, जो
Yes.
अल्टीमेट पावर्स थी ब्राह्मणों के पास, वो सारी बिकॉज ऑफ दिस.
Yes, such incidences, correct. So we'll see from different perspective now this situation first, then we'll see other case studies also. Because case study is something like Supreme Court, right? In Supreme Court, whenever decision is made, I always quote this, and I like this point a lot. I heard from his one is Bhakti Rasam Swami Maharaj only, first time many years back, that amazing thing about Supreme Court is that whenever there is hearing, there are not discussions on the laws much, in this law this is the injunction, in this law this is the rule and regulations, but there is always reference from the previous cases. My lord, in such and such case similar to this had happened hundreds of years before, 50 years, 10 years, and there this was the verdict of the court, now you have to accept. In this court this had happened similar case, now you have to accept, right? So we'll have some case studies to have some weight on what I'm going to share. So first, now I'll put my side. So when this incident had happened, justice was to be done to whom? Who was given justice? If Aswathama had to be killed, who would be given justice? Draupadi. First right upon the children, son's daughter, whose right it is? Draupadi. So if she herself is saying, I do not want justice, what is wrong? Right? But there was other side also. Bhim, Arjun, Yudhishthir. So that has to be considered. And what Prabhuji told, that is in regard to future after effects. What is going to be happen on society. So when this was the case with Draupadi, she understood it is not only her where she is going to be disrespected or disrobed. If such rascals remain in future, they are going to do same with the common ladies also. When such royal lady, protected by divine, very stout, powerful husband, nothing could be done. Such a cunning place and setting was done. It was, whole made like gambling. Then what will happen? So she took that vow and she remained on that. She actually bathed with that blood of Dusasan. She had no forgiveness that time. because she knew they are going to remain like this. But same Draupadi could understand the situation of Ashwathama is because his father was killed in the same way, right? So it was coming out of a situational circumstance. Generally, Ashwathama had fought for 18 days. He had not done any such thing. He did not dare to do any such thing. That coming in the night, if it was his tendency to do like this, he would have done something similar before also, because he was in charge on the 18th day when Duryodhan was killed. He fought also many times against Arjuna, but he did not use trickery or cheap tricks against Arjun. There is a whole description. Once he even shot very special weapon, Narayan Astra, and there is no weapon which can actually cut through Narayan Astra. There is only one solution. You have to surrender, bow down. So Krishna was there, Parampurush, and he understood. So he told everyone to lie down. Bhima was resisting, so he just hit on his head. Bhima lied down on the chariot. Then Narayan Astra was, refuted, or it was kind of devised the plan of Lord. So purpose of justice is there when that person is satisfied who has been rebuked. Now Draupadi herself is saying, then what can be done? That is the reason Krishna actually himself wanted. If you read the verse number 55 and 54, what it comes? 54. Yes. You have to fulfill your promise to your wife, and you must also act to the satisfaction of Bhimsen. And so Krishna himself wanted he should be killed. But they are just part of that assembly. Actually, the most hurted person, she was Draupadi. She was the most hurt. So if she herself is saying that no, 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 then what can be done? So it was on the principle that conditional state was there. So she was thinking she had soft side. So logically it was not correct, but considering the situation, it was totally fine. Now coming to the second part, what actually Arjuna did, how it was correct. So we need to understand that Draupadi, when she was insulted in that assembly by Kauravas, she had all the right to even give curse at that time. She was a chaste lady, chaste wife towards her husband. She had equal power like Gandhari, but she did not use it. Why? Because she had some hope it would be okay. But what she saw later on, that was totally creating turmoil. Because even in the forest, those Kauravas did not leave them alone. They found all the opportunities to misbehave, disrespect, even inside their feelings. They tried to joke out of them. There are incidences when Duryodhan even took whole entourage to the forest in one parv it comes, third or fifth year somewhere, Kamakya forest. They took everyone, all the dancing girls or society girls, and they had their main ministers and kings like Karna and other Jayadratha, and they had full dancing show there, just opposite to the river where they had hermitage or the ashram Pandavas. For what? See, poverty stricken fellas, and we are here enjoying this kingship, or this all the facilities. And in result, what happened? Gandharvas were not happy. This rascal, he is not still happy. Although cheating and giving them, forest exile to the forest, he is not happy. Then they came into the ad and they defeated. And again some ministers came to the side of Yudhishthir. अरे बाहर वालों के लिए तो आप 105 ही हैं, अंदर 200 और आप 5 हैं, प्लीज मदद करिए. So Yudhishthir also said yes, this is correct. Then he sent Bhimsen and Arjuna. They fought against Gandharvas who were actually helping Pandavas. So it is told that they captured Karna and all the soldiers of Kauravas, like here Ashwathama is captured. When it is told like captured like animal, have you seen unfortunately, I lived in such society where I saw people capturing pigs. If any one of you have seen, all four legs are tied to the bamboo and they're carried like this, That's how animals are captured. In the same way, Ashwatthama was carried. And same way, their Gandharvas were carrying all the important people, especially Duryodhan. Like animals is, captured and taken. And then they fought and it was resolved. Gandharvas were defeated and he was brought before Yudhishthir Maharaj. And then he was very humiliated. Being saved from someone to whom you came to joke about, to make fun out of. So that was the situation. And that was the time when, because of Arjuna's special fighting against Gandharva, there was a kind of blessings given by Duryodhan that whenever you'll ask me of something, I'll give. That's how he took away those 5 arrows. He came to know about and he asked because Duryodhan had kept with him, which Bhishma Pitama has decided on ninth day that I'll kill tomorrow all the Pandavas with these 5 arrows. So that's the background. So in such situation he did not leave. So similar incidents comes that Jayadratha in the 12th year of exile, he was going through that forest and he saw Draupadi, doing house chores. And he was anyway lusty. Demons, their first thing described about them is Kamesha Krodhesha. They're full with lust and anger. So when he saw Draupadi, he was, bewildered and he thought, why not to enjoy her? So he was a king, so first what he did, he put a proposal before Draupadi. Then, would you like to marry me? Asking someone, a chaste wife. So she understood what is going on in his mind, and immediately she rebuked and she, like Sita Maya, chastised Ravana when he incited or told her to marry him. Similarly, she initially told no, then she gave the results what is going to happen to you. If my husband come to know, you'll be treated like an animal, butchered. So he was then more angry and then he kidnapped her and trying to drag her with him. So when Pandavas came to know, they came to the hermitage, the cottage, they found Draupadi was not there. Then they understood what has happened. Then Bhima and Arjuna again went ahead and then they treated Jadat properly. Again, captured him like an animal and brought back in the feet of Yudhishthir Maharaj. And Yudhishthir being Dharmaraj, always forgiving. But still, same thing was there. When wife is kidnapped by someone, then husband or the person who is at the end of saving has full rights to kill that person. But what he told, because this person is also husband to one of our sister, Dushala, sister of Kaurava, cannot be killed because we'll become the main reason for what? Making our sister widow. We'll be that person, we'll be that team. So then it's not to be done. And he has actually not tortured Draupadi. He tried to kidnap her. So then they thought what to be done. So same thing was done there. Now how to punish him? So for a Kshatriya to punish means making fun out of him, disrespecting fully. So they saved his head there, and 5 chotis were kept at different places. Totally funny, and removed his ornaments and all the whatever weapons he had. So same thing has been done here. So why I'm relating this, that this is called the intelligence, which generally is by the mercy of Krishna. You know, there was equivocal instructions from Krishna. Now Arjuna, you have to decide. I and Bhimsen want him to be killed, and other team, they are also unanimous and they want to say no, he should be left, not to be killed. Now what to be done? So because he was a warrior and also a Brahmana, so first what was done? His money was removed, which was like known some important part of Aswathama. You know, it was told that that was because of the mercy, or He was the Amsavatar of Rudra. So it was part of his, body. So when it was removed, like snatching away the identity of some warrior, so that identity was removed from Aswathama. So that was one part. Then also it is told that he was saved. Shaved matlab his head was shaved. That is also there. So that was the thing which was done by Arjuna. And such intelligence, how does it come? So to understand this, because generally question comes that in our life certain situations is not going to come, but we also have dualities in our life, what to do, what not to do. So in such cases we have to go for the case studies. So first case study I have given to you about Jayadratha, right? Second, another situation about Bali Maharaj and Sukracharya, right? What was the situation there? Guru should be respected in all situations except, and that exception was there when Guru tries to take you away from Krishna. And that's what happened. Bali Maharaj understood. His Guru himself is saying he is Vishnu. He has come here to cheat you. Now what to do? So then Bali Maharaj was what? Pure devotee. And also coming in the parampara. So he understood this is not right. If even he is Vishnu and he has come to cheat me, it is my great benediction that he has come here to cheat me. And what cheating? This wealth, this anyway is going to go over one day. Right? So there was exception. And what he decided? No. Even if you are saying, I'll avoid. And there come very nice verse. Mantratas tantratas chidram, nischidram. So there comes that all the results of all the mantras, tantras, everything that becomes nisfal if that person is not doing ultimate thing. What? Surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna. Right? And if a person who is totally unpad, illiterate, if you understand this principle that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then his life and everything is perfect. And that example itself is of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He was the most prominent acharya in our parampara in terms of erudite scholarship and all the things which he did which were not there in the Shastra. Traveling through planes, using very costly motor cars, taking sannyas, where there was no acharya in previous parampara since Goswamis to have saffron, he wore saffron. How? That was because of mercy. He says this is because of my Guru Maharaj. And he had wonderful gurus. But what was the qualification of his guru externally? Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, you see there? He was illiterate. He could not read even words. But that was the parampara. How this happened that such person, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, people used to go to consult him about Shastras and whatever he'll say that will come out perfect. Why? Tesham satati yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Right? So Krishna himself says, who gives that buddhi? Krishna. But what is the condition? Tesham satat yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. So we have to do bhajan. We have to remember Krishna very nicely 24 hours a day. And also one more condition, asterisk. Satat yuktana means by all the means, whatever intelligence, whatever mental situation, whatever resources you have, through all this if you try to do bhajan, try to please Krishna, try to remember him in all the situations, then dadami buddhi yogam tam yen mam upayantite. He himself is saying, I give that intelligence. And very next verse goes to the next level. What is that? Tesham eva anukampartham aham ajnanajam tamaha. Right? Nashyami atma bhavasto jnana deepena bhashvata. That torch of knowledge who provides? Krishna. बोले दिमाग की बत्ती जल गई. तो ऐसे situations में decision लेने का जो power है, that ability will be provided by whom? Krishna. But conditions are there. In all the situations, by all the means, resources, intelligence, mind, We have to try, we have to understand how to engage ourselves, how to use this time in Krishna's service, right? So that is the condition. And if that is the condition, then Krishna himself comes to the save. Take for example of whom? Ambrish Maharaj, similar situation, contradiction. He had to break the fast, and there is a guest. So there are instructions in Manu Smriti what to be done. If you have a guest to be fed, and if you ignore, it is equal to disrespecting Lord Himself. Such has been told. But what to do, because he has done Nirjala Ekadashi, fasting. Another principle is that if you do not break in Paran time, then Nishfal, Krishna will not be pleased. Now what to do? Right? So therefore you see that in previous times, ministers, they used to keep so many Brahmanas, right? For for sacrifices there would be someone, right? Gurus also were for different things. Rajnitik Guru were also there. Karmkandi Gurus were also there. For moral support Gurus were also there. So many team of Brahmana used to be there in the assembly of king. And there used to be one major person who was like, actual Kul Guru or spiritual Guru kind of thing. So that was there for what? For this purpose, because there are always dualities. There are always different of opinions. Even in following the scriptures, in following dharma, how to take decision? It's very difficult. Right? Last time I quoted one verse. So generally we hear this. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. Right? Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. Mahajano yena gata sapantha, because the truth of dharma or the reality of dharma is actually hidden where? In the hearts of whom? Mahajana. Those who have understood this truth by exemplifying, while living like an acharya, they can actually tell you the truth. But to understand the gravity of this, you need to understand first two lines. What are the first two lines? Like I always say, somebody says, Gita says, work is worship. Sir, which verse you are quoting? Karmanya Badhika Raste. What about next part? Mafaleshu Kadachan. Right? Nobody wants to discuss that. Similarly, in this verse, if you want to understand the gravity, why it is told that dharma tattva or the reality or the understanding of truth is actually hidden in the heart of a Vaishnava or a Acharya or a devotee, you need to understand first two lines. So what does it say? Tarko apratishtha srutiyo vivinna. Whenever somebody gives arguments, there is no end. You have observed in personal life also, when you have some arguments while distributing books, when you have argument while preaching your family members, especially your father, mother, brother, there are so many logics. You cannot win over. Even with children, you cannot win over sometimes. Logics, there is no end. You cannot do pratishtha, which means tarko apratishtha, which means you cannot establish truth by arguments. There is no end because to the arguments. Shrutuyo vibhinna. If you want to quote the Shrutis, there are millions, billions of verses, and everyone, if they have little knowledge, they can quote from here and there and there. There is no end to it, right? So tarko pratishtha shrutiyo vibhinna nasao rishir yas matam na bhinnam. And if you want to exemplify through one person's example that such and such person told this or that, this, that, then there are so many munis, matam na bhinnam, and they themselves have different opinions. Like here we are coming, there are different of opinions. Now, how would you decide? Therefore, it is told that please take shelter of a bona fide person. Have faith in him, follow him, and then you will have conclusion. Now, challenge comes. Many times people ask, even for same question, one problem, two different persons give different solution. Does it happen? Same question you ask to two different Bhagavatam speakers or two different persons to whom you have faith, you'll have different answer. Now what to do? You'll say, bro, spirituality में भी तो ऐसा होता है, क्या करें? इन्होंने ऐसा कहा, उन्होंने वैसा कहा, मैं क्या करूं? Right? So how do you decide? So therefore, the process is established in 4.34. Very simple. Because even if person will speak something which is very palatable or practical to you, the possibility of accepting within your heart depends on your submission. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya ubdikshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshina. So tattvadarshi can be many, your guides, mentors can be many, but you will only understand when you have submission. It depends on us. You have to become a patra. You have to become capable of accepting that instruction of practicality. And it will only happen when you'll serve. Until unless you serve with submission, then pariprashnen is not going to give you anything. Right? That's the solution. So even if you are asking questions, it will only make a sense to you. You may hear as information or knowledge is concerned. It may make sense for you for a while, but it's not going to make any transformation within you if you have not served. Right? Therefore, why we are told again and again, have very nice morning program, chant your rounds, at least 16 number of rounds. Whose instructions are these? Srila Prabhupada? Otherwise, you keep on chanting 64 rounds of Mahamantra. But if you have no parampara, if you have no backing of Srila Prabhupada, because you're not following, you're not accepting ISKCON, you're not accepting GVC, you're not accepting authority, temple authorities, local authorities, then what? Prabhupada will come to take you? No. He has placed this system. He has enforced these things. So this is the main thing which we have to understand, that through submission, then serve, and then inquiry. At that moment, it will make sense. Right? So another example I would like to quote from Shastra. So like we had example of Jayadratha and Draupadi's case. Similar, how intelligence works. I am focusing on how your intelligence will actually work to take decisions. Right? So two case studies we discussed. Then third we had about Amrish Maharaj. Right? And what happened? Finally, he broke fast, and there was solution given that you take Charnamrit. Little drops of Charnamrit actually will break your fast because you have taken something. You have sipped water. But Charnamrit is such a thing that even if you take it is not broken. So your because there are so many rules and regulations about taking Charnamrit. What all happens if you accept and what all happen if you do not accept. So many glories are there of Charnamrita. So in that case, it is the highest thing. Even if somebody is told that when somebody offers you Charnamrita or Mahaprasad, immediately without thinking, without even a moment, you should just, your hand should go like, like children's, you give anything when they are aged between 6 to 12, you give anything, they'll immediately and put in the mouth. That kind of submission we should have for Mahaprasad and everything, right? So it is not broken in that way, but by his yogic Siddhi, Durvasa, he found out, oh, this person, now I have caught him. So he wanted to do justice with Amrish Maharaj. And what happened? He was running here and there for justice. Save me, save me, save me from Brahma to Shiva and every Loka planet. Ultimately, he went to Vishnu also. But what? No, sir, I cannot help. Because you have offended him. You have to go to him. Once he forgave you, then that's okay. So this is the case. So ultimate such wisdom, in the case of Durvasa, who gave him that wisdom? Please surrender to the devotee himself to whom you have offended. Krishna. This is direct, very gross. You have to go so much turmoil, tribulations, running here, there, throughout all planetary systems. But we have that very, very readily available. And what is the process? Tesham satatyuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam. So if we follow morning program nicely, we chant our rounds nicely, we hear Shrimad Bhagavatam very nicely, such intelligence to take decision will automatically will come. Along with it, we have to serve also. So this is one service which has been given, and other services might be given from temple authorities, our mentors, our seniors. So those also we have to accept. Then only this process will work, isn't it? Like, let's go to some very extreme and nice example. You'll relish this katha. I was thinking whether to quote or not. We have few minutes. So okay, in short, I'll take. There are so many verses where to pick from. So, Chaitanya Charitamrit, Prabhu, you can open on browser to share. Madhya Leela, 15th chapter, and so okay, we'll have something to relish. So 2008 onwards we can read. Text 208. Chaitanya Charitamrit 15th chapter 208 verse. So in brief I'll give you the picture what's happening. There is Sarvabhuma Bhattacharya and he wants to invite Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because Lord always enjoys being fed by devotees in the assembly of devotees, and he knew that, so he wants to please Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there is a situation, this whole thing is given how went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, invited him to take prasad, and then you see here 2008 onwards some certain things are so that we can munch upon nicely. You will always find details are there in the scriptures, in stories. Why? So that we are engrossed fully, we are stuck there. So that's why I don't want to skip this, that what all kind of preparations were made. Right now our lordship is being offered some bhoga, whatever as per the situation, but you will see here what kind of preparations he made. So 208 onwards, some devotee would like to read online or offline, whatever. 15th chapter 208 verse. Yes.
सिर्फ ट्रांसलेशन पढ़ना है.
Translations, yes, only translations.
Okay. 208.
Yeah.
The whole stack of rice was mixed with so much yellowish and fragrant clarified butter that it began to overflow the leaf.
Next.
There were a number of pots made up of bark of banana trees and the leaves of the kea plant. These pots were filled with various cooked vegetables and placed on all sides of the leaf. There were about 10 kinds of spinach, a soup
10
called
kinds of, huh? 10 तरह के भाजी थे. You keep on reading so many things.
a soup called shukta, which was made with bitter nimba leaves, a pungent preparation made with black pepper, a mild cake made up of fried curd, and buttermilk mixed with small fried pieces of dal. There were preparations of dugdha tumbi, dugdha kushmanda, veshara, lafra, mocha
Mocha ghanta,
ghanta,
mocha
mocha
bhaja.
bhaja, and other vegetables. There were unlimited quantities of Vriddha Kushmanda badi, Fula badi, fruits and various roots. Other preparations included eggplant mixed with newly grown nimba leaves fried together, light badi,
Badi, yes.
fried
Patola.
patola, and fried rounds of squash and pumpkins. There was a soup made with fried urad dal and moong dal, defeating nectar.
Defeating nectar, huh?
There were also sweet chutney and 5 or 6 kinds of sour preparations, beginning with
Bada
badamla. There were badas made with moong dal or urad dal and sweet bananas, and there were sweet rice cakes, coconut cakes, and various other cakes. There were kanji bada, dugda chida, dugda laklali, laklali, lucky. Okay, dugda lucky, and various cakes that I am unable to describe.
Finally, the writer is saying, I am unable to describe. So these many preparations were made. Now go ahead, Prabhu. Yes. Now see the situation, what is happening. I'll read little fast, Prabhu. Give me some. Sweet rice mixed with ghee was poured onto an earthen pot and mixed with champ kala, condensed milk and mango. Then comes other preparations include a very delicious churned curd and a variety of sundaes, sweet meats. Indeed, all the very suitable available in Bengal. all the things available in Bengal and Odisha. Thus the Bhattacharya prepared a great variety of food and spread a fine cloth over a white wooden platform. है ना, पटली वगैरह रख के पूरा प्रसाद उन्होंने रखा हुआ था, जैसे भगवान को भोग ऑफर करते हैं. She was planning to offer it directly to Lord Chaitanya. On two sides of the stack of food were pitchers filled with scented cold water. The flowers of the tulsi tree were placed atop the mount of rice. Some Bhattacharya also included several types of food that had been offered to Lord Jagannath. मतलब जो भगवान के आनंद बाजार में जो प्रसाद देखते जो भगवान को ऑफर होके आता है, वो भी बहुत सारा प्रसाद था. Understand, he was the chief priest of Jagannath temple. What all he could have arranged. काफ़ी चीज़ें आपको पता नहीं, आनंद बाजार में बाहर नहीं आती, वो स्पेशल लोगों को ही जाती हैं, तो वो सब भी होंगे वहाँ पे. These included sweet balls known as amrit gutika, sweet rice and cakes. All these were kept separate. When everything was ready, now comes the scene which you have to understand. When everything was ready, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came there alone after finishing his midday duties. He knew the heart of Sarvabhuma Bhattacharya. After Sarvabhuma Bhattacharya washed the Lord's feet, the Lord entered the room to take his lunch. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a little astonished to see the gorgeous arrangement, and gesturing, he spoke to Sarvabhuma Bhattacharya. What did he speak? This is most uncommon. How was this arrangement of rice and vegetables finished within 6 hours? मॉर्निंग में तो तुमने इनवाइट किया, मैंने हाँ बोला, और 6 घंटे में 2 लोगों ने सब बना भी लिया. You know, now even 100 men cooking on 100 stoves could not possibly finish all these preparations within so short a time. Now I am telling you the mood of Sarvabhuma Bhattacharya, in which mood he is trying to serve, and see the contrasting situation in which he comes. I hope the food has already been offered to Krishna, since I see there are tulsi flowers on it. You are most fortunate and your endeavor is successful, for you have offered such wonderful food to Radha and Krishna. The color of the rice is so attractive that its aroma is so good that it appears Radha and Krishna have directly taken it. Lord himself is saying, Radha Krishna Pranay Vikriti Halad Nisakti Rasmad. He himself is saying, my dear Bhattacharya, your fortune is very great. How much shall I praise you? I also am very fortunate to be able to take the remnants of this food. Take away Krishna's sitting place and put it aside, then give me prasadam on a different plate. Sam Bhattacharya said, now it comes the mood of a servant. It is not so wonderful, my lord. Everything has been made possible by the energy and mercy of him who will eat the food. Directly giving the glory to whom? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. My wife and I did not especially exert ourselves in the cooking. He by whose power the food has been prepared knows everything. Now please sit in this place and take your lunch. Right? The Bhattacharya said, both the food and the sitting place are the Lord's mercy. If you can eat the remnants of the food, what is the offense in your sitting in this place? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, yes, you have spoken correctly. The Shastras enjoin that the devotees can partake of everything left by Krishna. My dear Lord, the garland, scented substances, garments, ornaments, other such things have been offered to you, may later be used by your servants. By partaking of these things and eating the remnants of food you have left, we will be able to conquer the illusory energy. Right? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, there is so much food here that it is impossible to eat it all. Do you think so? Mound of rice, पहाड़ बना के रखा था, right? So many vegetables, और ऐसे ऐसे जरा जरा से नहीं बनाया होगा कि चम्मच देना, you have seen offering at least अर्धन पॉट में सब कैसे ऑफर होता है, और जगन्नाथ का प्रसाद भी आया हुआ था, so Krishna is saying that I will not be able to. So now what his devotee replies? After all, at Jagannath Puri you eat 52 times a day, and each time you eat hundreds of buckets filled with Prasadam. At Dwarka, you keep 16,000 queens in 16,000 palaces. Also, there are 18 mothers and numerous friends and relatives of the Yadu dynasty to feed you only. In Vrindavan, you also have your father's elder brothers, your father's younger brothers, maternal uncle, husbands of your father's sister, many cowherd men. There's also cowherd boyfriends, and you eat twice a day, morning and evening, in the houses of each and everyone. Devotees offer, right? We offer here at least 2 times. So that's what he's saying. So he's saying indirectly, how is it possible you will not eat? You eat so much, I am offering this much. Very little. Indeed, Sarvam Bhattacharya continued at the Govardhan Puja ceremony, you had 8 stacks of rice. In comparison to that, this small quantity is not even a morsel for you. एक और है आपके लिए छोटा सा. You are the supreme personality of Godhead, whereas I am the most insignificant living being. Therefore, please accept a little quantity of food from my house. Hearing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu smiled and sat down to eat. The Bhattacharya with great pleasure first offered him the prasadam from the Jagannath temple. At this time, अब आता है थोड़ा सा drastic change scene. At this time, the Bhattacharya had a son-in-law named Amog, who was the husband of his daughter Shathi. Although born in an aristocratic Brahmin family, Amog was a great fault finder and blasphemer. Amog wanted to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu eat, but he was not allowed to enter. Why? Because Bhattacharya already knew what kind of person this is. Indeed, the Bhattacharya guarded the threshold of his house with a stick in his hand, so that at least this person does not enter. But what to do? Serving is primary duty. However, as soon as the Bhattacharya began distributing prasadam and was a little inattentive, Amog came in. Seeing the quantity of food, he began to blaspheme. What blasphemy? This much food is sufficient to satisfy 10 or 12 men. But this sannyasi alone is eating so much, speaking to Lord. And see the mood, the way Sarvam Bhattacharya had prepared. As soon as Amuk said this, Sarvam Bhattacharya turned his eyes upon him. Seeing the Bhattacharya's attitude, Amuk immediately left. Right? So this scene, it seems, now closed here. Now see the mood of devotees. The Bhattacharya ran after him to strike him with a stick, but Amuk fled so fast that Bhattacharya could not catch him. The Bhattacharya then began to curse his son-in-law and call him ill names. Galiyan di matlab bhar bhar ke. When the Bhattacharya returned, he saw that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was laughing to hear him criticize Amog. And now see the mood. When Sathi's mother, means wife of Sarvabhuma Bhattacharya, heard of this incident, she immediately began to strike her head and chest, saying again and again, let Sathi become a widow. कौन सी ऐसी मैया होगी जो बोलेगी मेरी लड़की विधवा हो जाए? That is the mood of devotee of Lord Chaitanya. So this is a contradiction similar to our case. How you will see further. Now what it is there? Seeing the lamentation of both husband and wife, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tried to pacify them according to their desire. He ate the prasadam and was very satisfied. Mahaprabhu ने ignore किया and prasad लिया. Further what happened? After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finished eating, the Bhattacharya poured water for the Lord to wash his mouth, hands, legs, offered him flavored spices, tulsi manjaris, cloves and cardamom. The Bhattacharya then placed a flower garland over Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and smeared his body with sandalwood pulp. After offering obeisances, the Bhattacharya submitted the following humble request. I brought you to my home just to have you blasphemed. This is great offense. Please excuse me. I beg your pardon. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, what Amoga has said is correct. What Amoga has said is correct. Therefore, it is not blasphemy. What is your offense? See the mood of Lord. And why is it so? It will be concluded at last of this story. After saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left and returned to his residence. Sarvam Bhattacharya followed him. Falling down at the Lord's feet, Sarvam Bhattacharya said many things in self-reproach. The Lord then pacified him and sent him back to his home. And then, after returning to his home, Sarvam Bhattacharya consulted with his wife, the mother of Sati. After personally condemning himself, he began to speak as follows. See, what is he saying for his damad? If the man who blasphemed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is killed, his sinful action may be atoned. बोल रहे हैं मर जाए तो ज़्यादा अच्छा है, उनको उनके पाप का कर्म नहीं मिलेगा वैसे. Sarvabhuma Bhattacharya continued, or if I give up my own life, this sinful action may be atoned. However, neither of these ideas is befitting because both bodies belong to Brahmanas. You see, Brahmanas cannot be killed in their body because they have got that body from whom? Arrangement of Krishna. So even he knew, because there is injunction in Shastra, if you hear the blasphemy of your Guru and Krishna, there are two things are told. Immediately punish him. First thing is, if you are not capable of answering or subduing him, leave that place, keeping hands on your ears. Immediately leave this place where you hear blasphemy of Lord and his devotees. And if not possible, then cut the tongue of that person and you also take your life. That is also given. What does it mean? In this Kali Yoga, we cannot do like this. You cannot go and cut the tongue of someone. So now what is the solution? What to be done? So solution we'll see further. In this case, they were Brahmanas, both his son-in-law and he himself. So now what to be done? He told, I cannot take my life also. Instead, I shall never see the face of that blasphemer. We have learned that point. Drive him away, right? भूल जाना, उस व्यक्ति को निकाल देना कम्युनिटी से. That is also considered a killing for that person, right? I reject him and give up my relationship with him. I shall never even speak his name, right? Inform my daughter Sati to abandon her relationship with her husband because he has fallen down. When the husband falls down, it is the wife's duty to relinquish the relationship, right? When a husband is fallen, one's relationship with him must be given up. Next, that night Amog Sarvabhuma Bhattacharya's son-in-law fled, and in the morning he immediately fell sick with cholera, right? When the Bhattacharya heard that Amoga was dying of cholera, what do we say? I'm not pronouncing it properly. Cholera only. Yes, cholera. He thought it is the favor of providence that he is doing what I want to do. When one offends the Supreme Personality of Godhead, karma immediately takes effect. After saying this, he recited two verses from the revealed scriptures. What we have had to arrange with great endeavor by collecting elephants, horses, chariots, infantry, soldiers has already been accomplished by the Gandharvas. This is the same references जो मैं बता रहा था. ये word है भीम के. He is speaking महाभारत. अच्छा ही है, मरने दो. जो हमें करना चाहिए था वो हमारे लिए गंधर्व कर रहे हैं. युधिष्ठिर भैया क्यों परेशान हो रहे हो? Let him die. वो नहीं तो मैं मार दूंगा. That was Bhim, always taking justice. Same his behavior was here. When a person mistreats great souls, his lifespan, opulence, reputation, religion, possessions, and good fortune are all destroyed. At this time, Gopinath Acharya went to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Lord asked him about the events taking place in Sarvabhuma Bhattacharya's house. So further, Gopinath Acharya informed the Lord that both the husband and wife were fasting, and their son-in-law Amog was dying of cholera. And then, as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard that Amoga was going to die, he immediately ran to him in great haste. Placing his hand on Amoga's chest, he spoke as follows. Now comes the lesson for us. The heart of a Brahmana is by nature very clean. Therefore, it is proper place for Krishna to sit. But in your case or our case, why have you allowed the Chandal of jealousy to sit here also? Out of jealousy, because he could not enjoy. He could not see Lord also enjoying, right? So, we see what is the reason of our coming here from our eternal place. Two things are told, right? What are those two things? You have read in Bhagavad Gita? Why Jiva has to come here in this material world? Huh? Jealousy, envy towards Lord, and tendency to enjoy, right? In this way, you have contaminated a most purified place, your heart. This is the reason. However, there is the solution. Due to the association of Sarvabhuma Bhattacharya, all your contamination is now vanquished. When a person's heart is cleansed of all contamination, he is able to chant the Mahamantra Hare Krishna. Therefore, Amok, get up and chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If you do so, Krishna will unfailingly bestow mercy upon you. After hearing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and being touched by him, Amog, who was on his deathbed, immediately stood up and began to chant the holy name of Krishna. Thus he became mad with ecstatic love and began to dance emotionally. While Amog danced in ecstatic love, he manifested all the ecstatic symptoms: trembling, tears, jubilation, trance, perspiration, and a faltering voice. Seeing these waves of ecstatic emotion, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to laugh. Amok then fell before the Lord's feet, submissively said, "Excuse my offense." Not only did Amok beg the Lord's pardon, but he also began slapping his own cheeks. गाल सुजा लिए उन्होंने अपने आप को मार मार के. गोपीनाथ आचार्य ने फिर उनको रोका. And then verse number 283. After this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pacified Amok by touching his body and saying, "You are the object of my affection." Why? Why? Because you are the son-in-law of Sarvam Bhattacharya. You saw the connection? Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. Krishna can never be pleased directly. Knowledge, transcendental knowledge can never be, established within a heart directly. It is always through devotees. Mercy of Krishna always comes through his devotees. साधु संग सर्व शास्त्र कहे, लव मात्र साधु संग सर्व सिद्धि है. अदौ श्रद्धा तथा साधु संग, भजन क्रिया, अनर्थ निवृत्ति. Whatever stage of bhakti are there, at each stage you need sadhu sang. Even at Bhava stage, Bharat Maharaj had to wait for 2 more lives to perfect. Why? No sadhu sang. So this is the power of sadhu sang, association. Right? When Krishna says to Durvasa Muni that only that person who has been offended by you can forgive you, that means please go and take sadhu sang. See his qualities. And when he went, he saw that actually that person to whom I tried to kill, in response, what is he doing? He's continuously praying for my safety. Oh my Lord, please leave him. Please do not kill him. That is the heart of a sadhu. Forgiveness. Prime quality of a sadhu. Forgiveness, which is very difficult. For small things we can become angry. Right? So, therefore, through this I wanted to glorify actually Draupadi, to establish the principle. Do not consider it as his weakness or some unintellectual thing. The power of forgiveness can only be seen in Vaishnavas. So she had all the rights to say no for killing, because she should be affected most because of killing. So it was totally justified. And that's what Krishna was also satisfied by the action of Arjuna. Shri Mad Grantaraj Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. It is already late. If any question, you can type. I think we are already late. It's 9:10. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.